Hey, what is up guys? It is Needle, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about the introduction to a ranked mode into Fortnite, and then the current form of ranked mode that we have, also known as the pop-up cups, which serves as like the competitive style of Fortnite that you can play in 5-hour sessions, but I'll get more to that in a bit. Before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know I will be playing the solo pop-up cup at 6 Eastern on YouTube. I will be streaming it live, so if you haven't already subscribed and turn on notifications to know when I go live tonight. If you guys haven't already, I have a team Discord as well. It's Team Needle. Join that if you need people to play with or play creative games with. I'll have the link for that down in the description below. And then just to cover what the pop-up cup is, which serves as like the in-game competitive event for Fortnite, I'll run through the rules for it. For the solo one here, the way it works is you get a total of 30 games to play in a 5-hour session. And so the way the games work is you learn to the game, obviously. You get 1 point at 3 eliminations, 1 point at 5 eliminations, you get another point at 7 eliminations. That means you can max out elimination points at 3 for each game, and it caps at 7. So if you get a 20 kill game, but you don't place very well, you'll only get 3 points. And then the way it works for placement is, if you reach top 10 in the solo, you get additional 2 points to your pin, and then if you get top 3, you get another 2 points, and if you win, you get another 2 points. So that leaves the max game, the best game possible, at 9 points total in the solo cup. And then to clarify, if anybody doesn't know about the pin, you unlock it at 20 points, but it doesn't really do anything. I know in the past I've done stuff for the skirmish where you can qualify through here, but if you're just playing casually looking to get better, don't worry too much about the pin. If you get it, you get it. If not, just keep trying to go for it and then work on everything from there. So as of right now, Fortnite is actually running the Architect Pop-Up Cup. So there's a solo version, a duo version, and then a squad version on every Friday. With these cups, like I just explained, it's going to be more towards placement and placing well, so you can get away with like camping, playing the game really slow, not worry about eliminations until the end, and really get away and still get a decent number of points on your pin. My number one tip for anybody that's looking to do better or earn the pin for the pop-up cup in general, the 5-hour session, since you do got a lot of time, don't be scared to rip a lot of games and play for placement. Land off somewhere safe, play your life, just try to make it to the end since placement points are so valuable in the pop-up cup. I'll touch up a little bit more on that when I talk about the Share the Love Cup and the way that's formatted and what I think about that. But yes, for the pop-up cup, the general rule of thumb should be try to make it for the end game, play for placement, play your life. Don't be scared to play very slow or very passive. It's all about getting that high placement and getting that victory out to win the game. But recently this weekend, Fortnite just implemented something new. Based around Valentine's Day, they have the Share the Love placement series. They actually had 3 different sessions for solo and duo, so a total of 6 sessions this weekend. And the whole point of it is, your best session, the most amount of points you'll get, will place you somewhere for the ranked mode coming soon to Fortnite. And the way this is going to work, it's going to have a Champions Division, which is going to be the top 1,000 players, a Contender Division, which will be the top 3% of players, and then the Prospect Division, which will be like the general base of players, which will be the top 20%. So depending on if you guys play in this weekend or are familiar with it, that's how you're going to be placed. So let's say you get 35 points. You're likely going to be placed in a higher division, probably the top 3% or top 1,000. That's pretty hard to do. And I'll talk about the rules of this one right now. So with the placement series, I'm not sure if the ranked mode will keep the same format or how it will work, but the way it worked was a lot different. So I explained to you guys it's more placement based on the pop-up cups. So with the Share the Love Cup, the ranked mode, it was, you get, for at least for the duo one here that I'm looking at, you got, for eliminations, if you got 4 eliminations, you got 1 point, you got another point at 6 eliminations, and you got another point at 8 eliminations. So you max out 8 eliminations, total of 3 elimination points, but then for placement it changes. So with the placement here, you reach top 5, you get +1, you reach top 3, you get +1, and then you win, you get +3. So there's only a total of 5 placement points, which is going to be a bit different, and winning means a lot more. So look at it like this. Let's say you start hot, you land hot, you get 8 kills, so you max out with the 3 elimination points, but you don't even get top 5. You're only getting 3 points. Let's say you could have made it to the end game, made it to top 6, but if you don't get top 5, you're not getting an extra point. If you don't win, you're not going to get that big game that could change the whole event since there's only 3 hours. This made this event a little bit more tough. The way I noticed when I was playing this week, and I feel like ranked might be the same way, is people were playing super aggressive and killing everyone in the first circle. And then once the first circle hit, everyone kind of hit. So basically the way I see it, or the best way to play it, is land somewhere decently hot or outside of a big town for the first circle. Go get a weapon, try to pick up a few kills to get, let's say you get the 4 elims, you get 1 point right there. Any game you go into and come out with points is a very good game in the Share the Love placement. I don't know if they'll keep it for the same for ranked, but in here, if you came out with points, you were doing something right. So the way I see it is, try to go out and max elims every game. Try to land hot, play aggressive for the first circle, but once that first circle hits, you have some decent weapons. Let's say you have 5 kills under your belt, play for the end game 100% every time. Eliminations mean a lot in this, since you can cap out at 3, and it's pretty much easier to get 8 eliminations than it is to win the game realistically. And then try your luck and play for the end game and see if you can win. I think if you keep this good mix of playing fast pace to get the eliminations, but also trying to max points and make it to the end, but putting more emphasis on eliminations than anything, is the way you have to play it. So landing tilted honestly isn't a bad option in this from what I've seen. It's very hard to win games. The final circles for me, it seemed, at least in the duo one, I was getting to the final circles, it was at least 15 plus kids, which isn't that much, but everyone plays pretty passive, and those bigger small circles, if that makes sense, you guys know what I'm referring to, they'll just kind of turtle up on the side of a mountain, play it pretty passive, play it pretty slow, so it makes it hard to get kills towards the end, and the end game moves pretty slow into the final circles that don't stop moving. As you guys can see in the background here, you're playing against some sweaty kids. You guys can see my gameplay. There are some pretty good kids in here. You got to play the gunfights a little bit differently. You got to take your own pace. You got to know your play style. If you're someone that likes to hit headshots with a pump, that's something you're good at. Play to your strength, 100%. Play how you need to play, but play the fights very smart, very strategically. In this, just some general tips I can give you guys for the upcoming ranked event, or just the pop-up cups in general, that I think have helped me a ton, and something that I want to highlight for you guys to help you guys if you guys want to start playing this competitively or for fun. I'll explain them here for you guys. The first big tip I gotta let you guys know about is about third partying. So third partying in these events can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. If you're fighting someone in a solo, you're going a big build battle, you're burning through all your mats, you took a couple pump shots, let's say you're at 50 health and you're looking to kill the guy to get the shield back. The issue is, someone's just going to run over real quick and just finish you off while you're weak. So, third partying is a big issue. So, if you see someone start to build up with you, and you know you're low on mats, you're low on health, don't be scared to go turtle down below and play the fight at your own pace, like I was saying earlier. Take the fight slow, play it how you need to, because people are going to third party every single time and come out of nowhere. So yes, please beware of the third parties and be hyper aware that people are looking at you and peeking you from all over the place across the map. But to add on to that, look to third party yourself. I know it's like a weenie way to play, it's a passive way to play, but look to third party. 100% look to third party if you get the chance. If you see someone building up, getting a big build fight, you see they just got rocked, chances are you can go spam some shots on them all the way up in the air. Maybe you'll land one. Chances are they may have 30, 50 health. All you gotta do is land 2 shots and you get the guy down, you're gonna get that shield, and you're gonna get another elimination towards your points. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is how mats work. So there is going to be a material multiplier. So let's say a tree that gives you 63 wood in the regular Battle Royale Fortnite, if you hit it in the pop-up cup, it's going to give you about what I've noticed, about 1.5. So you'll get like a 1.5 multiplier, so around 90 wood. So it's easier to get wood and materials in general. And with that comes the fact that there's a cap. So each material is capped at 500. You're going to be capped at 500 wood, 500 brick, and 500 steel, compared to the 999 that's in the regular Battle Royale. So that is something to think about when you are fighting in this. You do want to be hyper aware that you're going to burn through mats pretty quick since you're capped at 500. And with that comes the point that if you do kill someone, you get 50 shield or 50 health, whatever you need, and you get 150 total mats. You get 50 of each. So mats do come and go in the game, which is nice while you fight, so it does reward fighting in that aspect. But then again, if you make to the final circles where you're building up, you have to push, you have to rotate, you have to build above you, whatever it may be, you're going to burn through mats. So be hyper aware of that in the game, and make sure to keep breaking wood down, any kind of structure. If you're in an end game, you're near a tree, don't be scared to break down the trees. You're going to need the materials when it comes down to the last circles. The next thing I want to cover here is a really big tip that's going to help a ton of people out, but it's also really hard to wrap your mind around. I know for me, it's a hard concept, but it's just the concept of kind of relearning how the game should be played. So if you're like me, you're used to just being a casual player going into pubs, trying to load up, trying to just get some wins, get some high kills while winning. It's going to be a lot different of a game, obviously. Like I mentioned, so with the Share the Love Cup for the ranked, it's more about getting kills that first circle. You want to highlight kills, you want to try to kill as many kids as possible and then kind of slow down. Where compared to Battle Royale, where you can just run around all game, if you have some launch pads, you have Gladiator to play, you're honestly okay to go out there and push everybody you want if you have minis and you can just shield back up. The issue with this is, kids play a little bit different here. They're going to play a little bit slower. It's going to be more towards based around fighting at the end game. Kids don't really care. Like, for example, after the first circle, there were about 28 kids in one of my games last night. Right, so 28 kids. By the time the fourth circle was coming in, there were probably about 20 guys left still. So after that first circle, I'm not kidding you guys, fighting slows down a ton, and that's why I don't suggest fighting after the first circle if you do not have to. But yes, you do have to relearn the way the game is supposed to be played in here. So like I said, it's going to be a lot slower. People are going to build up. People are going to build huge structures to stay in, to keep their distance in. So it's almost like the beginning of Fortnite, if you guys remember. Players, what they would do is they would get to the final circle, and they notice it's a lot smaller. You're going to get picked off a little bit easier. People are going to be a little more visible. They'll just build 1x1s up. It's almost similar to that, as where you need to build 1x1s up at the end of the game, but a little bit more strategic, like building off of mountains and whatnot, depending on where the circle's at. But don't be scared to build up at any point and just hide in a hut. Like, honestly, God, if you watch Tfue, they play very slow, him and Close you do. They'll just chill in huts and hold their peak the entire game until someone runs by and they can get some shots off. Tfue and Cloak, they avoid fighting at all costs. It seems like you gotta learn to play the game really, really slow until you get to the end game. For example, Tfue doesn't let people in his scrims. He runs his default scrims through his Discord. The way it works is like, I think it's a third circle rule. So until the third circle hits, I think then like transitioning into the fourth circle, that's when you're allowed to fight other people that wear the default skins. And his scrim matches, everyone wears the defaults. You're not allowed to fight any other defaults until the fourth circle. That's how much emphasis he puts on fighting and waiting till the end game, and how much smarter it is to play like that. The next thing I want to cover is more towards end game, obviously, too. You got to learn how to rotate efficiently. So good use of mobility in the end will kind of decide if you win or not. So let's say you're carrying 4 Riftigos. 100% you're going to be in a better spot to win the game. So try to carry mobility if you can. You'll notice some circles, let's say you're fighting at Snobby and it's rotating onto the Viking ship. You honestly, if you're already burning through mats fighting, you're not going to have enough mats to build up on the Viking ship. That's going to take way too many. So having stuff like launch pads, glider redeploy, even Riftigos make a huge difference, or even fighting near rifts on the map. That will make a huge difference in your game when you get to the end game. So try to pick up mobility if you can. Understand it's going to be hard some games. It's a lot of RNG based stuff. But if you have the option to pick up glider redeploy, pick up launch pads, pick up Riftigos 100%. And then I did mention earlier that you do get 50 health if you do kill someone for the elimination bonus. And the reason I want to highlight this, I feel like a lot of people don't know this, is so obviously if you hit someone first in a gunfight and you see they're in white and let's say you have 150 shield and you know they're below 100, don't be scared to go W key, get in their face, try to spray them out to get that kill. Chances are if you already rocked them, they're going to try to play the gunfight a little more passive and build. Get in their face because you get that shield bonus, so don't be scared to get rocked for 40 damage or whatever. You're just going to get that right back with the health boost, especially if you're already at 200. So don't be scared to push someone you know is weak. That's the biggest tip I can give you guys. And if you're in duos, that kind of goes on top of this. Fight next to your partner. I'm sorry. Find your partner at all times. Play right next to them. It's going to make gunfights way easier if you're right up in kids' faces together, and it will change the way the game is played for you. So this is all the tips I had for you guys for the current in-game events that we have with the pop-up cups, if you guys are looking to get the pin, and then the upcoming ranked mode, what to expect, how to play that, and how to play smarter in all these events in general. I hope you guys did enjoy this, and you guys can take something away from this. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a like on the video, comment if you want. Like I mentioned before, my team Discord is down in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys.